Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto News, the Crypto News channel. Today we are going to talk about major information on the FTX SBF Caroline Ellison affair. A lot of things have happened, but we will also talk about lots of other news around Coinbase and also other exchanges. One exchange which is abandoning Ethereum. We will also talk about hacking, with a hack that I talked about a few weeks ago. And finally, we know the origin of this hack in decentralized finance. I also talk to you about metaverse and many other subjects. So for those who do not know the channel, do not hesitate to subscribe every day, a summary of the best news of the day on the crypto ecosystem. Let's move on to the course of cryptocurrencies today. It's quite stable. We have one BTC at $16,800, and Ether at $1,200, plus 0.3%. The market as a whole is down slightly by 0.15%. Let's talk now about FTX. Look at what happened today. We already had SBF who arrived in the United States. SBF is under the control of the FBI, and now he will face justice. We have SBF colleagues Gary Wang and Caroline Ellison. Ellis also pleaded guilty to fraud and of a set of things. They are suddenly accused of having done everything that we knew they had done. That is to say, embezzle users' money from FTX to make it arrive on Alameda. Gary Wang is accused of having developed the computer system to allow Alameda to be able to recover all the funds from users. Caroline Ellison accused of price manipulation linked to the FTT token. They have done really lots and lots of limit things. Everything that had come out in the press, well, it's true in the end. And the American justice is doing its job well. They pleaded guilty to the blow after the justice, but also with the authorities of the regulators. They made an amicable agreement the SEC, and with the CFTC. So they are really cooperating fully. All that we will say against SBF, they are really putting everything on the back of SBF. After in the end he was indeed the majority owner. But here it is as we suspected, we will say. Caroline Ellison was already in the United States cooperating with justice. He still risks things, fines and other things, but hey, the biggest. They in fact avoid the biggest possible convictions. They will surely not have tens and tens of years in prison. We have Caroline Ellison, and we have in fact had their agreement, we will say, out of court, who was published. She must give $250,000 as bail to be able to be released on bail. She must give her passport. She must also give all her assets that she was able to obtain thanks to her frauds. But in the end she should be doing quite well. Maybe something to do with tax evasion or bad management, we will say, at the level of the funds on Alameda and FTX. But not much, and in the end they should really get out of it. And besides, the justice in the United States called the other employees of FTX who had information that could help in the investigation in the context of finding out what really happened, but she called them to come and cooperate right away. I now wanted to talk to you about Coinbase. Coinbase, they just came from having a license in Ireland to be an operator. Makes it a service provider that manages digital assets. So it allows them to do all this all over Europe, knowing that they are already doing it, but there they are in the process of going to say to return to the European legal framework. He is also preparing for MiCA, suddenly the European regulation which is coming to frame all cryptocurrencies. That is good news also for Coinbase. I think they are also in the process of try to get a PSAN registration. But hey, it takes a lot of time, so here it is Coinbase trying to be better regulated. It is one of the biggest exchanges, one of the first, which was launched more than 10 years ago now, founded in June 2012. Speaking of exchanges, I wanted to talk to you about Paxful. Paxful is an exchange that just made an announcement that they were going to drop Ethereum. They were going to remove Ethereum from their platform. Why? Because the founder of Paxful is a Bitcoin fan. He is a maximalist Bitcoin, and suddenly he said we stop Ethereum. It's nonsense, Ethereum, since the passage in proof of stake, it's completely nonsense. After the hypocrisy, a little of all that, it's that Ray Youssef, the president of Paxful, he just said they were going to keep the stablecoins. It's mainly based on Ethereum. He said that's why we're still going to keep Ether in the wallet. So to sum up, they remove Ethereum from their marketplace, but it leaves the stablecoins. So all that actually demonstrates the real usefulness of Ethereum. There are still a lot of things that are built on Ethereum and have a real use. Here I think he said that for the ComShot. We remove VE Ethereum. Ethereum is too centralized. Now let's talk about hacking. You talked about this hack that took place a few weeks ago, ANKR. the anchor protocol on the BNB chain, which allows you to do BNB staking in a liquid way. They were hacked. We did not know what was due to this hacking, and a private key that had been stolen. Now we know what happened anyway. What ANKR claims is that a former employee deployed a package malicious. In fact, there is a former employee, he put a piece of code in the code that was going to be triggered on the next update of the tool. That's what happened. The piece of code, it's deployed, and he managed to steal the private key. Thanks to that, he was able to do the hack in question and steal millions of dollars. So there it highlights that there are not only smart contract issues in crypto projects. There is also the problem of internal malice, which also exists. And security protocol security are put in place in decentralized finance projects to protect themselves from that. And that it is almost impossible for someone external to the project to be able to analyze that and know if it is correctly done or not. The best thing, in fact, to be protected from this type of thing, it is that your protocol once which runs on the blockchain, and well, it is almost no longer modifiable. Like that, even the team or even the people who have information and info financial assets such as private keys can no longer change anything on the protocol. This is the case in particular with Uniswap. There is almost nothing that can change. And on Liquidity-Lust stablecoin, which I have already spoken about, Uniswap, they can only change a single thing. It is the activation or not of the swap sum. That is to say, the transaction costs part, which is returned to the holder of the United token. Here is Uniswap Cash. So we are not going to say much, but the protocol itself. We can be sure that in 100 years, in 20 years, it will continue to run on the Ethereum blockchain and the other blockchains on which it runs. We will now talk about metaverse. With a blockchain specialized in the metaverse under development, Lamina 1. Launched by the father of the metaverse, well, rather the person who created the term metaverse, Neil Stephenson, is a science fiction author. And they are in the process of deploying all that. And above all, they have just announced a fund. An investment fund for all the Lamina 1 ecosystem. They have it on AngelList. It's a very well-known platform for investors, mainly in Silicon Valley. And here people can invest $2,500 per quarter and participate in an investment, especially the Mina 1 ecosystem. So it's getting ready. We don't have a date yet, to my knowledge, on the launch. In any case, it's not planned for right away, but it's really coming soon, the Mina 1 and all its ecosystem. And here I wanted to talk to you about NFT with Yuga Labs, which launched an NFT collection via the Meebits, whose project was launched a very long time ago. This is what you see here. At the time, it was not Yuga Labs, was Larva Labs, the creators of CryptoPunks. And there they just released a Meebits album, which can be listened to on Spotify. And Meebits holders can get the NFT that corresponds to the album. So, well, I don't think it is something that will change the phase of the NTFs, but it really shows that there are always developments on the NTFs. Meebits, it was a collection that was completely, we will say, dead. And now he is starting to revive things little by little. And maybe we'll see other projects related to Meebits soon. And while staying on Yuga Labs, the trailer has been published of Trial of Jimmy by Monkey. You can see it here. There's a little short film that came out. For you can see it on all Yuga Labs social media, and the mint is coming. It will be a multi-step mint that will take time. That will not happen all at once. Yuga Labs continues to build. That's a good sign for the future. That's all I have to say about today's crypto news. I hope you enjoy the content. Feel free to comment and subscribe. See you in the next video.